What's up guys, Nikhil here from Nikhil Talks Tech. Today we're going to be parting out a PC that costs over $1,000. Now $1,000 is the sweet spot budget for most of the gamers and streamers out there because it's a really balanced budget and you can really get a lot of good parts with this budget if you think your PC goes out. So that's what I want to help you do today. I'm going to be helping you pick out the parts for a $1,000 PC. Make sure to not skip the video because in the middle I will be telling you alternate parts if you have a greater budget or a smaller budget. So keep watching and don't miss to watch the entire video. So let's dive right in. So for the CPU, as you can see, I've gone with the Ryzen 5 3600, and this is the best value for money CPU that you can get for playing games as well as streaming. It's got 6 cores and 12 threads, so multi-threading is enabled, and you've got a base clock of 3.6 GHz and a boost clock of 4.2 GHz. Now this is unlocked for overclocking, so you can push that further. And as far as the caches are concerned, in L1 cache you got 384 KB, L2 cache you got 3 MB, and L3 cache you got 32 MB. So the rated TDP rating for this processor is 65 watts, so it's gonna draw about 65 watts at peak power, and it is a 7nm architecture, unlike Intel's 14nm architecture. And you also get a stock cooler that is really good. It is known as a rate stealth cooler, and it's just really good, and it's just the best box, one of the best box coolers ever made. And with Intel you get this really bad box cooler that can't even keep up with the temps of the processor in idle. So AMD's box coolers are really good, so we're not going to be using an extra cooler here, and we'll be putting that budget towards something else today. So that's it for the processor guys, and it was no surprise I went with this processor, but nonetheless I have explained all the specs. And now let's move on to the next part, which is the motherboard. So for the motherboard, I have gone with the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max. Now I know the new B550 chipsets launched and there's the X570 chipset, but those, they don't offer that much. They just offer you PCI Express Gen 4, which we're not going to be using in this video. And even an RTX 2080 Ti, the top-end graphics card, doesn't have PCI Express 4.0, so you don't have anything to lose even if you go with the B450 board. Now this board is obviously AM4 based, and it is an ATX motherboard, which means it's the size of our case which we're going to be choosing, and it is based on the B450 chipset. It's got 64 gigs of maximum memory that you can put in. It's got 4 memory slots, so we'll only be populating 2 today, but then it's useful if you want to upgrade later. And then it supports up to DDR4 4133 memory, although we're only going to be using 3600 speed today because, as I explained in my previous video how do Ryzen processors work, you should definitely go check that out. But after this video, I tell you why DDR4 3600 is the sweet spot for Ryzen. Now, it is crossfire capable as well as SLI capable, but we're not going to be using that. And for those of you who don't know, it's the technology from NVIDIA and AMD that allows you to put 2 GPUs parallelly. It's got 2 PCI into 16 slots. It's got 3 PCI into 1 slot, so you can use that for some expansion cards or something like that. And it's also got SATA 6 GBPS SATA ports, and it's got 2 USB 2.0 headers, so that'll be useful for plugging in your case headers. And then it's got 1 USB 3.2 Gen 1 header, so that'll also be useful if you're using a case with that that supports that. But it doesn't have Wi-Fi, but that's not a big problem. We can get a adapter from Amazon for like $4 or $5, so it's really cheap. And that was the basic overview of this motherboard, and it's also got a 4+2 phase VRM for a really good power delivery to our chip, and this board can even handle a Ryzen 9 3900X no problem. That's how good this VRM is. And the best part is this board is only $110, but as I'm picking this part, it's $120. But if you want to get it like offline or something, then you can definitely get it for $110 or even cheaper, because it's been a while now since this board was launched. And as you can see, you also get some RGB near the RAM slot, so that's definitely good. And that was a basic overview on the B450 Tomahawk Max. And one more thing to add, guys, it's got an 8-pin power connector for your CPU, and it's also got decent heat sinks that can dissipate the heat of the VRM. So that was it for the motherboard, guys. Now let's go to our next part, which is RAM. So guys, for the RAM, we're gonna be going with G-Skill's Ripjaws 5 16GB kit. It comes with two 8GB sticks, and it is DDR4 3600 as I just told you, and it cache latency 16, which is really good for the latency. It's really less, and the best part is it's only $75, and you're getting 3600 speed memory for that, so really good. And of course you can overclock if you want, but yeah, so that was it for the memory. And now let's move on to the next component, which is the storage. So guys, for the storage, we're going to be going with a 500GB SSD as well as a 2TB hard drive. Now, this 500GB SSD, you can store your OS, so you'll get faster boot times, and you can also store your web browsers and all your basic files and all of that for the system to feel really snappy and fast. You can also store some of your games here, since 512GB is pretty big, so you can store some of your games in here as well, like your really important games or the games that you play the most, so the loading times will be less. And as far as the rest of the storage is concerned, we have a Seagate Barracuda 2TB. It's a 3.5-inch hard drive, and it's 7200 RPM, so that's really good. And it is a really good hard drive for the price. It's just $50. You're getting 2 terabytes for that price, so really good hard drive. And as far as the SSD, it's from ADATA, pretty reputable brand. If you want to save some money, you can go with a 250 gig SSD instead of a 512GB one, so you can save some money there. And let's move on to the next part of this build, which is the graphics card. So looking at the GPU, we're going to be going with AMD's Radeon RX 5700 XT. It is a very capable card that's able to game in 1440p comfortably over 60 to 70 fps at ultra settings, and you can even get 1080p 144Hz in medium to high settings, and if you set it all the way up to ultra, you can get 120 to 100 to 120 fps in 1080p. So very capable card there. And the good thing is it only costs $380. And let's look at some of the specs here. It's got 40 compute units, 160 texture units, 2560 stream processors. It's got a base clock of 1605 MHz and a boost clock of 1905 MHz. And remember, this is going to be overclocked, and I will also be posting an overclocking guide on this channel later, so stay tuned for that. It's got a memory speed of 14 Gbps, which is really big. It's got a memory size of 8 gigs GDDR6 memory, and it's based on the Navi architecture, and the recommended PSU for this is 600 watts. So those were the specs, and now let me talk about the card itself. We are getting the Msi Evoke RX 5700 XT. This card looks gorgeous as well as performs really well. It's in gold color, so obviously it's really good for aesthetics, and it's also got two I'm not sure how many millimeters are those fans. I guess they're 90 millimeters, but it's got 2 fans, and then it's got the power connectors are one PCIe 8 pin plus one PCIe 6 pin. So obviously that it's going to be drawing a lot of power because it is kind of a mid to top end card. So this is a really good graphics card for the price. And if you want some Nvidia exclusive features like say RTX, DLSS, or even say you're a person who's doing deep learning or something like that, the Nvidia exclusive features, then you can go for the RTX 2060 Super. And the video card is another place where you can save some money if you're willing to sacrifice some performance. So if you are kind of less on money, then you can go for the RX 5700 or the 5600 XT and save some money. And on the Nvidia side, you can go with a 2060 or a 1660 Super. So you can save some money there. If you have a bit more money, then you can go for Nvidia's RTX 2070 Super. So that is another really good option there. It's I guess it's $500. So if you have just a bit more money, then you can go for that. That is a solid 1440p card, and it gives you like 20 to 30 FPS over the RX 5700 XT on average. So that was a really brief overview of our graphics card and why we picked it. So that was it for the graphics card. Now let's move on to our next component, which is the case and power supply. Okay, so as far as our case is concerned, we're going to be going with the NZXT H510 ATX mid-tower case. Now this case is really good as it looks aesthetically pleasing and it's got plenty of space for components as well. And the case is another place where you can save a lot of money. So if you want to go with, you don't care about aesthetics, then you can save a bit of money on the case, but this is what I'd recommend spending on the case if you want some decent airflow. And if you have a bit more money, like $20 to $30 more, then I recommend going for Fractal Designs Meshify C. It's got a full mesh front panel, so way better airflow than this. But this is still a very good budget case for the price it's currently going for, which is $69 or $70, you can say. And that was it for the case, guys. So let's move on to our next crucial component, which is the power supply. Now, as far as the power supply is concerned, I've gone with Corsair CV650 80 plus bronze certified ATX power supply. So this as all of you know, Corsair is really good at making power supplies, and for this budget we don't need any more than 80 plus bronze certified power supplies. And it has got some ketchup and mustard cables, but that's not a problem. Later down the line you can get like a cheap cable extension kit for like $20, $30. So, and it's pretty decently spec'd as well. It's got really good quality capacitors and it's very good quality even in the build side, because of course it's from Corsair. It's 650 watts, which is more than enough to power our system. And later down the line, you can even drop in an RTX 2080 Ti and this can still handle it. Now this has got 10 SATA connectors, 4 Molex connectors, 1 CPU connector, and it's also got the required amount of PCI connectors that we need. So guys, as you can see, this is the PC part picker list that we put together at the end. And if you want a summary of the parts, we've got the Ryzen 5 3600, the B450 Tomahawk Max, G-Skill Whip JAS 5, 16 gigs of RAM, 3600 speed, CL16, and then we've got a 512 gig SSD, 2TB hard drive, the RX 5700 XT from MSI, H510 mid-tower case from NZXT, and the Corsair CV650 80 plus bronze certified ATX power supply. Now the total comes down to $1,001.90, so really good allocation of our budget there. I'm going to be dropping a link to this PC part picker list, and I'm also going to be dropping links to each of these individual PC parts, so you guys can check that out. And so guys, as I promised, I will be telling you how this PC can perform in every single game. So basically this PC is capable of doing 1440p gaming comfortably at over 100 FPS even in ultra settings. So that is really good to see, right? You're getting that much for your $1,000. And as far as 1080p is concerned, this PC can do 1080p 144Hz gaming in almost every single FPS game you can think of, like Fortnite, PUBG, Apex Legends, etc. So this PC is very capable, and it really performs as far as your expectations can come for $1,000. So, and one more thing, guys, if you're going with the 2060 Super instead of the RX 5700 XT, you will lose some performance. You will get 20 to 30 FPS on average. Not 30 FPS exactly, but you might get 15 to 20 FPS less on average compared to the 5700 XT. But you do get some advantages over AMD, which is the NVIDIA exclusive features like DLSS. So if you play on a DLSS enabled game, then maybe you can get a bit more FPS out of your RTX 2060 if you're playing, say, at 1080p or 1440p. So yeah, guys, that was the alternate PC part that I told you. So I have also given you the performance for the alternate PC that I have recommended you guys. That's it for this video, guys. Hope you liked it. If you did, smash that like button, and a subscribe is definitely appreciated. And please turn on the notification so you don't miss any future video from my channel. And guys, I'm planning to start a series where I do budget builds for different kinds of budgets, and this will be the first video. This video's budget was $1,000. Now my next video, I'm planning to do a $200 PC. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.